Hey everyone, welcome to Handing the Shame Back, a channel dedicated 100% to the amazing adult survivors of child sexual abuse here in Aotearoa and out across the world. We know the stats are frightening, we know the silence is even more frightening, and we have a wonderful guest for you today. But before I introduce him to you, please, if you feel triggered at all, I'm just issuing a trigger warning here because the content is around child sexual abuse. So please look after your wonderful self and don't be triggered and stay watching. Switch off, go to the show notes below and you'll be directed for some help and resource. Well, let me welcome back to the show, Sam Troth. Now, Sam, you may remember from last year because he walked the length of New Zealand for the cause, the Road to Healing Aotearoa, in support of adult survivors of child sexual abuse, but specifically male survivors of this. Now, Sam, currently, it's winter here in New Zealand, bloody cold, is actually now he's walking the width of it. He's currently in Te Kaha. He's clearly an adult survivor and we love what you're doing. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Hey, Gloria, thanks for having me back. Lovely to be here.
Awesome. So, yes, you're walking to raise awareness. Can you tell us a little bit about how this has come about and, yeah, what responses you've been getting?
I guess it's come about on the heel of my walk last year. You know, I walked the whole length of the country and I felt that I'd started some good conversations and I'd got a lot of brothers to come forward and heal, and I'd given a lot of partners and wives and mothers a lot of inside information. Wasn't enough, and I don't think it's ever going to be enough. So we've just got to keep going. So I come up with the idea to walk coast to coast of New Zealand, the North Island. So New Zealand's quite a small country. Obviously, if you're from here, you realise that. If you're not, then yeah, we're quite small. So the length was 2,200 kilometres. The width is approximately 763 is the distance I'm walking. So I've walked from the most eastern point on the East Cape there. Well, actually, I've walked from Mount Hikurangi, which is the biggest mountain here on the East Coast. And I'll be walking to Mount Taranaki, which is the mountain on the west coast at the most western point, but we'll go also from water to water as well. So it's mountain to mountain, water to water, maunga to maunga, coast to coast, whatever you want to call it. Just raising awareness, just starting conversations at cafes, shops, stops, random people pulling over, talking to us. This time I'm fortunate enough to have a small group with me. A lovely sister and an awesome brother, survivors, and they're walking it up with me. So we're a team, which is a vibe all on its own. We're here. We're stationing ourselves in 4 different locations. So at the moment we're in Te Kaha on the east coast, State Highway 35. And we've been here for about a week. We're going to be here until next Friday. This Friday coming up, sorry. And then we'll move to Rotorua, where we're going to stay for about a week. And then to Taumaranui, stay there for a week, and then off to New Plymouth, and we'll be there for the final week of the walk. So we've got a house bus, we've got a caravan, we've got gazebos, and it's kind of like it's almost like it's a cool vibe. Put it that way, yeah.
Different infrastructure from last year. I remember doing part of the walk with you up in Helensville, and man, we were hot. That was a hot day.
Summer, I'm never doing anything in summer again. I've got lots of ideas up my sleeve, and something's going to happen. All I can say is something's happening in April, and it's going to be big. But I've got a few ideas up my sleeve, and I just want to make sure that I keep going. Sorry, I just had to turn off my notifications.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I keep going. But yeah, it's got to be done.
It does have to be done. And Sam, what would be useful for our beautiful audience watching, because we have people from all over the world, as you know, who watch this. And they get such help from listening to amazing survivors like you. And I guess for them to understand this is very big in you, and this cause, what is for you will find you. Well, it's found you. You ain't going nowhere. So what's your key objective, or what are you really hoping? What would be a wonderful outcome after walking the width of this country?
I have a small but very quality following. So I've got about 3,000 on Instagram. I have about 1,500 on Facebook, and I've joined TikTok, but my children aren't too happy about it. But I'd like to see the following of quality, caring survivors and caregivers and parents increase. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see my following grow. I'd like to see more people realize that I'm here to stay. I'd like to see more people in the community, in the mental health sectors, in education and healthcare noticing me, acknowledging me, and bringing their thoughts to the table to assist me in raising awareness around this. People in addiction services, things like that. And that's what I've already found. We've connected, Gloria. I've connected with, our friends from Riosa and so many other beautiful advocates. I've
And
also
they have
connected with
folded, but they've folded. You see, charities fold
it's
because
so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. I'm going to need to be funded at some stage. I mean, I'm relying on, at the moment, I rely on the community, and also because I do my volunteer work for Tautoko Tāne, I received a donation from them, and we also received, and I've got to mention her, Chrissy Mack from Gisborne. So she has an organisation is Here for You, and she does some just amazing work in the community. She is just on another level from all of these other people as well, and it's all around the rural community and this isolated community of the Gisborne area. And she just gets behind everything, and she got behind us with $2,000 worth of donation for fuel vouchers, electrolyte drinks, and power bars, etc., for our walking in the day, which is huge.
massive.
So, but we will need, it's hard, but connecting with those community people in the community and with experience. So I've connected with teachers that are telling me stories and experiences from their personal life and from their work life. People in addiction services, people in consent education sector. So I want to continue these connections so that my lived experience knowledge can be passed on to these people. But not only that, I can get their clinical knowledge and I can get their sector knowledge. So especially around addiction. So I spoke to a lady, we did a live the other day from Speed Freaks, which is Anna, and she created that charity, and they're getting a little bit of funding. They're getting great traction. They've got heaps of walking and running groups. They help people get support into detox through residential programs, and then they stay with them like a peer support, basically for as long as they want to be with the organization. And she was saying that 3/4 of the people that she's seen, and she was facilitated for 12 years at Odyssey House in Christchurch before she became her own charity a few years ago. So this is a woman with 15 plus years of experience, and she's saying 3/4 of the people she comes across have been sexually abused as children. So I need to. My goal and my ambition is to get this data together, get these people, have these lives, have these chats, so that so that it's solid, and then these people that are following, it should grow. We should get traction, and then it helps people understand the underlying issues. Because when we talk about mental health, especially here in New Zealand, it seems to be very what's the right word to say here?
Just say
Very
it.
broad, very broad, very, very broad. We speak of suicide, and we have these huge organizations raising phenomenal amounts of money, and they're treating a side effect. There's no continued support network. They're at the bottom of a cliff catching people.
Yeah.
They're not being proactive. And these are many, many, many organizations out there that are like this. If we're going to talk about suicide, let's talk about why. And we've got this stat of 90% here in New Zealand, 90% of under 14s have been proven to be sexually assaulted. So in 2019, we had 6 under 14s commit suicide. 5 of them, according to our statistic, sexually abused. So
Yeah.
why don't we dive back? Why don't we dive back to that and talk about that? You
Yeah.
know, I see a lot of these advocates and even these groups on social media that are fitness groups or their whatever groups, you know, and it's disheartening that they hold such large platforms, but they choose to stay so G-rated so that they protect their you know, it's just, yeah, it's shocking because we know, you and I know as survivors, you know, that lady from the Speed Freaks, Anna, she knows as a facilitator of drug and alcohol. You talk to corrections, they know that all their men in prison and this and that. You know, all of these people, you talk to someone that works with the homeless, they know. You know, you talk to someone that works in domestic violence, they know. But
It's all kind of linked, isn't it, Sam? And I guess what I'm hoping is as you're proceeding across the country that you're, you know, as you say, you're talking to the everyday person. You might be running into them at the rest stop or the supermarket or whatever. And what are you noticing the reaction is out there?
wow, especially here on the East Coast. So this is a really tight-knit community here. It's all whānau, you know. This is the Wild West in a sense that these people live a very simple life,
Yeah.
and they don't like out-of-towners if you come in here and ruffle feathers, you know. So we're getting waved. We're getting people move right onto the other side of the road, slow down, waving, acknowledging. We're getting truck drivers stop, you know, giving us Red Bulls and bloody chocolate bars. We're getting you know, older, like, and I'm talking much older, like you know, your nan and koro's pulling over and talking to our support vehicle. We've had gang members stop. We've had gang members stop and say fucking awesome and all of the other things they usually say, but you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, well, first it's what the fuck are you guys up to? Sorry. But you know,
Yeah.
that was the
So
and we give them the answer and they're wow, too much, awesome, you know. It's well received here. We were at a shop the other morning getting a coffee. We went to the East Cape, did some breath work, yoga, and gratitude, watching the sun come up, which was an amazing experience. And then we went and got a coffee before we started walking, and we ended up chatting to about 3 of the ladies there out the front. And this one lady, me and her were just having this amazing talk, and she was just like blown away. She knew it, she knows it. So obviously, she lived with it, or someone lived with it because she knew how needed this is. And she was just, yeah, she's just blown away at our at what we're doing to try and bring awareness to it, and disheartened by the same realizations that you and I have. You know, that fuck, it's like banging your head against a brick wall.
well, and look, I know you enough to know, Sam, you're never going to give up. You're like the Energizer battery, man. You just keep moving. But we'll call you Sam the Energizer. One little thought I had was you want to reach out to your buddy on the clink. He'll have you back on.
Yeah, he has, and he's been awesome. He's shared a few reels. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's very supportive. He's been sending messages on this one as well, and you know, looking forward to buying a couple of t-shirts. Actually, I
Yeah.
asked if we could have MVP ones, but just us guests that have been on his show.
Yeah. And what did he say? No.
He said you got to wait.
That's
But
so
yeah.
That's so awesome. And so Sam, how is it for you? I mean, you know, you're doing this amazing walk, and for our survivors watching, there's, you know, we all do our best, and we need to be okay enough in ourselves, and I know Sam would agree, to be able to live our lives. And then one day we reach a place where we're more than okay, and we feel like, oh, I can put my head above the parapet here, and oh, there's another one over there who might be struggling. I understand. And I think that Sam's in a place where he's been able to do this more and more and more. So now he's out there loud and proud, you know, he's just going to keep talking this talk. And I think what we need across the world is for people to sit up and stand up and go, yes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I stand with you, because it's really, really important that we do this. So I think at the end of the day, I don't know, Sam. Was it this difficult for us in our country to get attention around suicide or domestic violence? You know, is it just because these topics are also difficult for our this couldn't happen in New Zealand stance?
I think, and I don't want to go off on a conspiracy tangent
No, no,
or anything
of
like
course.
that, because I'm not a conspiracy tangent guy.
No.
But I think at some point we've got to say the people in power could stop this tomorrow. So why don't they?
Mm.
And we've got to sort of think to ourselves when we see these philanthropists in our local news, these people getting name suppression, abusing boys and men, our priests, our respected elders on the marae, our teachers, our lawyers, our police. You've got to say to yourself, is it like an old boys club? Do you know what I mean? Your
Yeah,
Freemasons, as you well know, my friend.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, is there some kind of higher evil power that is stopping a mainstream awareness campaign? Why do you and I have to do this when I've got it saved in my phone. I should have bloody had it ready. I read this thing the other day, and the likelihood of you dying and your child being injured in a car crash is 1 in however many thousand. Yet it's 1 in 3 to be raped as a woman. But you still put your child in a car seat regardless, because the chances all X amount of more chance of having cancer, 1 in 3 of being raped. You know, this is for women. These stats, obviously. You know, it was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, even so, it puts into perspective. Okay, so your chances of dying on the road from a drink drive is 1 in like 600,000 or 800,000 or 1 in 1 million. Do you know what I mean? Of being killed. It's the fault of someone else on our roads. Yet we spend millions of dollars a year on television campaigns.
Yes.
Do you understand? So when you think, and we spend all this money on mental health,
Yeah.
you know, so when you look at it and you go, let's look at who's going to be at risk the most. So 1 in 3 women, 1 in 6 boys. 1 in 4 boys when you add domestic violence to that statistic.
Well,
So,
it's 1 in 3 girls. By the
yeah,
time a girl turns, because you talked about these stats recently, and you and I had a bit of a message thing about this.
mm,
By the time a girl is 16 in our country, 1 in 3 will have been sexually abused.
okay, then. And it's 1 in 6 boys at
Well,
16.
yes, but the police say it's actually more like 1 in 4.
Yeah, because of the unreported amount.
Yeah.
So here, let me blow you away. So when you do the statistics and you look at our 2018, the amount of boys that were in New Zealand, and then what you do is you divide that by 16 years, and that gives you the amount of so you look at the under 16s in that year. Then you divide that by 16 years, then you divide that by 365 days, and it's a rate of 13.7 a day. So that means, and then you take out the margin of error because the population would have been smaller in 2002 to 2008. So you can say you could you could lose probably the 1.7. So you're 12 boys a day. So then we add that stat roughly to the girls, just for an odd figure, 24 girls a day. So 24 girls a day are being raped or sexually abused, and that's the first time it's happening to them. They're new victims. They're not repeat victims. And 12 boys every day here in New Zealand. So what the actual fuck?
Yep, 100%. So, you know, and where's the noise? And that's why I always call it the silent endemic, because the silence is deafening. The silence is deafening. I don't know if you knew, Sam, but I released, we had our Global Awareness Day, June 16, and I
Yeah,
released a hand signal.
yeah,
That's for our beautiful under 16s, yeah? If they're
yeah,
being used or not safe, please share
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Don't you wish you'd had that as a kid? It could have saved
Oh,
me.
absolutely, absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, and you think, I think that Hanson signal, I see a lot of, and I don't know if they're staged or not. It's hard to know what's going on social media, but I see a lot of clips from overseas, and it might be in Africa or something, and it's European people with an African child. And then there's people coming out of the public saying, are you the mother of that child? And these people are speaking a foreign language. The child looks very scared and distressed. but they can't, there's this, yeah, I've seen a few of them now, and it's from the same page. So I'm assuming these people go around, but now if that child knew that hand signal,
Yeah,
they would know.
so easy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, all the
And
survivors.
it looks innocent as well. It's just like they're waving, but if you know the signal,
Mm.
they're not waving.
Well, we've got a really great story actually. There was this amazing woman in the States who went to a Wendy's. Her name was Portia. And she was probably late 20s, mid-late 20s. She went and she thought, well, I'm going to be mindful. I'm just not going to do a drive. I'm not going to, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm actually going to park and go in.
Go in for a feed. Yep.
She wouldn't look at her phone. She thought, no, I'm going to be mindful. You know how we meant to be mindful.
Yeah. Be in the moment.
That's the one. So anyway, she's sitting there eating, looking around. She sees this roughly 11-year-old girl sitting next to what she thought must have been her father, and the kid starts doing this.
Fuck.
Yep. So this woman thought,
Wow.
I know what that signal means. Have you gone all goosey yet? I know what that signal means.
On the legs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so she went, are you for real? Dad was looking at the phone. She thought it was Dad was looking at the phone. And she went, are you for real? And the kid went. So she then said, wait there, went around the corner, rang the cops and said, hey, I think we've got a kid being abused or trafficked or something here. Yep. They said, keep them there. And she thought, well, how am I going to do that? And the cops said, get other people to help you. So she went over to a couple of guys, probably about your age, you and a mate having a burger.
Yeah.
And she said, don't make a scene, but this kid's being trafficked or abused. Something's going on. We got to help. I'm going to go and talk to the girl. Can you grab the guy? The cops are on their way. And so they did.
Wow.
How's that?
Yeah.
And that's
so now why, yeah, and that needs to be on TV.
Well,
why isn't it on TV?
Why can this not get into any media? Mm-hmm. I've tried over 40 of our top media outlets in this country. Don't even use my name, Sam. Just do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Houston, we've got a problem because we say we love our children, we want to protect our beautiful tamariki ratatangi, but if you're not even going to put that on, mainstream.
Yeah. Why? And it's just and then so the question straight after that is why not? So I started putting on my posts, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I did see my following went down.
Yeah.
I think I might have lost 30 followers over the couple of weeks building up to the walk. When I started saying that, I said, parents, you fucking think it's not going to happen, And I lost some followers, but oh well, obviously they think they know better. But the reality of it is if you're not gonna at least go, like if like some form of support, or like I don't fucking get it. I'm sorry for swearing again, but I don't get it.
Say what you like. This is a safe place. I'll beat you up later. No, you're safe for now. Put it that way. But very afraid. The reality is, and this is beautiful global audience that will watch this, Sam, as well. For all of you wonderful people out there, this is in your countries too. You know what's going on. You know that you're in a small minority of people that will ever discuss it. And so I guess it's on us to do whatever we can. But equally, Sam, my thing is this. There's this little theory that if people don't want to know about it, it's because they don't think it could possibly happen.
They don't believe it. They don't believe it.
Thank you.
Our voices are silenced. We're silenced right the way through from the start of the abuse. We're silenced. We speak up about it. We're silenced. The justice system silences us and minimizes the offending by giving pathetic sentences.
Yes.
Or not even giving convictions. I feel sorry for females as the worst. The amount of non-convictions. We have seen a huge in the last few years. There was an article, I reposted it. It caused a little bit of controversy about the male conviction rate being so much higher than the female conviction rate. and there was some feminists or some protesters at Parliament protesting against that, saying that the system's failing. Well, I put that down to male survivors Aotearoa and their hard work, and the fact that more men are coming out. There's services available. In the last 4 years, they've gone from 2 regions to 11. We've also had the Royal Commission, you know what I mean, in the last few years. So when you look at that data, you know what I mean, yes, okay, so what it highlights is it shouldn't be a male-female thing. What it highlights is that the whole justice system needs a reboot.
Well, it's also, and with respect, much as I love you, you're wrong. No, is this? Oh, look, Male Survivors Aotearoa, I love them, amazing group. But equally, Sam, it is one of the things I think we notice in our culture is that when a woman speaks, that's interesting. When a man speaks, it must be so. There's still that toxic stuff.
I think, and also because it takes so much vulnerability for a man to speak it, then he can't be lying. He can't be. Why would he be so vulnerable? Whereas a woman, we go, and it's so sad, and we have this defense lawyer going, "What were you wearing that night?
Yeah. Oh,
dance with that man." You know what I mean? For the adult, it's terrible.
yeah,
it's terrible. And then we have the drug raping.
Yeah.
And the drug raping, and it's like our justice system, right? So say a woman goes home with a guy from the club, but she doesn't intend to have sex, and then he has non-consensual sex with her. That is rape. No matter if she fights, fawns, flights, whatever she fucking does, that's rape.
Yeah.
And our justice system just belittles the shit out of that woman and says, "Well, let's have it. We got a tick box here. Were you drunk? Yes. Were you wearing a skirt? Yes. Were you dancing with him? Yes. Did you go to his house? Yes. Oh, did you kiss him? Yes. Okay, well, you asked for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna give him community work.
Yeah.
When he should get 10 years.
Well, you know, the reality is, and I'm just going to take a little sideways turn here. What's concerning me, and I'm sure you guys are hearing of it too, is that we're groomed as a society, you see. And so now you will have heard of this MAP, minor attracted persons.
Yeah.
Now we're meant to, as intelligent adults, accept that that's okay. No,
well, I think
it's another word for pedophiles.
Exactly. Of course it is. Of course it is. But I think it's there's only one benefit for me, because what we can stop saying now is that these are heterosexual people, because they're not. They are pedophiles. If you want to come up with another name for it, that's cool, but the definition is exactly the same. So if we try and take a positive look at that, it's, so you're now putting your hand up. Thank you. Yep, you are not of us. You're not part of the rainbow community. You're not heterosexual either. You are all in your own league where we've always had you, but you've just tried to make a nicer name for it.
Yeah, but is that what a massive red flag it is?
No, because then what we're doing is, exactly, and I hear what you're saying, is now what we're doing is we're trying to give it a nice name and make it desensitized and say, we've got a little abbreviation here.
And the other thing too, and audience, I hope this is interesting for you because I'm having a great time. But thank you for your beautiful attention. We know this is going to help you as well. The other thing I want to raise, Sam, and I'd love to know your thinking, is that what we have is we've got that ridiculous grooming of us coming through, minor attracted persons, or be wary of this one and this, I don't accept this. When you are describing the sexual abuse of a minor, it is not sexual assault. Can we please stop minimizing it? Sexual abuse of children is sexual abuse. It is not sexual assault, because can you see how sexual assault is softer?
Yeah, because sexual assault's when you grab someone's butt or you grope someone. But this adult had to put themselves in a position of trust for them to actually grab or grope, and they're not grabbing or groping, they're touching, and it's different.
Abuse. It's not assault.
It's not assault.
See, language is so powerful. The same with child pornography, and unfortunately, as you know, my story, I was hundreds of videos and photos, but the old term is child pornography please stop making it sound sexy. It's
Yep.
child sexual abuse materials.
That's correct. Yep.
So
Yep.
we've got to start really thinking about languaging, and I know you know, Sam, but for all you other survivors watching, we've got to start thinking about how we verbalize these things, because these are all slipping through the system and desensitizing everybody.
Making them sound a little bit more acceptable because it's another branch of that normal porn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, much like you get animal porn, and it's like, well, no, that's sexual violation.
I didn't know that was a thing, but now I'm cringing.
I won't say it doesn't come from New Zealand, but I think it's I won't say which region. They don't speak English anyway.
I'm sure it's everywhere. But look,
But
the
yeah.
reality is, and I'm going to bring up something else with you, and then please, we can discuss whatever's top of mind. Sam, the other thing is that on the 24th in this country, The Sound of Freedom is coming, which is a movie about child sex trafficking. For 5 years, that group tried to get that into mainstream media. They spent 5 years. They finally got it through, so the data's quite old now. But the point is this: here we go again.
Yeah, I've seen so much on it. All the different like people buying tickets, trying to buy tickets, and the booking system saying they were sold out. Yet then they go to the cinema and there's only 3 people in there because every other person got told they were sold out online and things like this. And now they're calling it a what do they call it, a non-eon or whatever they're calling it, conspiracy theory. Yet I've seen clips 12 years ago of like CNN, BBC, all these big media outlets interviewing that guy, and now that there's this movie that they've put together on it, they're now trying to say he's a conspiracy theorist, where before he was a legend and he was this and he was that, and but now it's got so deep. I mean, it's the new drug. It's bigger than the drug trade.
Oh,
because
is.
they can be over and over and over and over again. You can only sell a kilo of drugs once. You can sell a child over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They have medical teams. It's just it's vile.
It's huge. But look, this is how big this is. And so, keep walking, don't burn out, but keep walking. So Sam,
we're close to it.
I know, I was thinking, because you've got a few of you doing this, and I know your brother in arms is he's probably exhausted, and
he's finding it great. I mean, it's just the blisters. That's all it is. And you've got to get them, and you pop them, you cover them, and they hurt like heck. And that's just that, So we're actually going back over our schedule today, and we're going to juggle a few things around. We had some ambitious days set up for around the 13th, 14th of this month. We were intending to do a 56K day, and it's just too much.
Might be too much. The other thing too, but always take a leaf out of Rioza's book, and that they used to get bikes. They just get bikes and maybe do 56K on a bike,
I think someone might be doing something like that next year.
Oh, does April sound familiar?
Yeah.
But so Sam, at the end of the day, you've got people who back you and support you. You've got so much better infrastructure now, in terms of being able to be fed and in a caravan, etc. That's fantastic news. And what are you noticing out there as the word spreads and as you're talking to people? Are people sharing more of their stories with you? I know that happened last time.
Yep. I've already had a couple of stories shared with me face to face, a couple of experiences. Lady at the shop the other day, for instance, and online it happens all the time online. It's strange because you open up that safe space, those direct messages become someone's safe space, and you get these whopping big messages that, and they come in 2 parts, and they take 10 minutes to read and reread, and you've really got to give them the time back and respond in a caring and understanding way, and acknowledge acknowledge their vulnerability and acknowledge the fact that you're proud of them. And, you know, especially these brothers, they need to be told that they're loved, you know, and I tell them that. I say, like, I love you for sharing. I thank you. So I'm proud of you for sharing, you know. But yeah, it hasn't got back to a daily thing, but it's a few times a week. I'm getting those. I remember the last walk, it was a few times a day. And I'm sure once I get into the walk a bit further and I'm hoping more people start sharing more of my content and stuff, that new people will be coming to my page and I will be getting these daily. But I am getting new people coming to the page, and Facebook seems to be growing quite quickly at the moment. That's gone from about 1,000 to 1,500 in the last couple of months. So that's been really good and good steady growth. So a lot of new people coming through and sharing their experiences through Facebook. And, you know, people asking for resource, you know. Yeah, it's time for it. It's time for it. Like, people, we need it, you know, and mainstream need it, you know. Like, we need to, I think what we need to do is we need to all get together, all of us, you know, smaller, you know, grassroots people. I think we need to get a petition together. I think we need to do something that is peaceful yet too loud for mainstream to ignore. You know, whether that's a sit-in at Parliament or I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? But it's got to be something, you know. I feel
We did
that.
that. You did that with us on our Global Awareness Day. Thank you so much. You were walking and
No,
you
that's
were
cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
umbrella. But you see, we were so grateful because people like you and people across the world joined. And what we're just handing the shame back as a nod and salute to our amazing adult survivors. And that was beautiful and so
Yep.
peaceful. And we
Yeah.
weren't asking for anything. We're just saying, hey, would you like to join? And
Yeah, we're here.
we just don't want people to feel alone. It's,
Yeah.
as you say, it begins in secrecy, but you see, there's also the isolation because
Oh, yeah.
as children, you knew you couldn't speak. I could never speak. But if we'd had this,
Exactly. You know,
let's give kids something to use.
yeah. And I think if enough people, especially, you know, like, okay, so say if you got 100 people, but those 100 people have all got a couple of thousand followers each, you know, if you get a half a dozen people that have got over 30,000 followers, you know, if you really push, you reach out, everyone that's ever messaged in, everyone that's, you know, a real call to arms. And I think a petition asking for a couple of things. And I think the most easiest one would be, and the most simplest, is a mainstream media campaign. We want to see adverts on television, advertising our, you know, like the same way they did with the drink driving. They've done some dramatic, impactful ads. Let's see that for sexual assault. Let's see
Oh,
that for sexual abuse. Let's
thank
see that
you.
for rape. Let's see that for let's see that, and let's do that for 6 months. And let's, at the end of every one of those bloody ads, let's have the Male Survivors Aotearoa, let's have Rape Crisis, let's have Helpline, let's have all of those resources, boom, on the screen. Let's have it on at prime time between the news and 8 o'clock. Let's have that come on every set of ads. Please, let's just have that, government. We spent probably tens, if not possibly hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing, advertising, and information for COVID. We spend tens of millions of dollars a year for marketing for alcohol. We don't do anything for gambling, and we don't do anything for sexual awareness.
I've seen a few ads for gambling. So gambling do have the odd little thing.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we should be on, there should be billboards. That hand sign should be on every billboard in the country.
Yep.
Because as much as this is growing by the day and the online sexual abuse and the sextortion that's coming for our kids, Sam, we don't even know what's going to hit us. For that, we can't stop the pedophiles completely, but we can give our kids something to use. Keep doing this until someone helps you.
Yeah. We need to make it normal, so normal, and we need to make everyone so aware that it makes it very, very, very hard for the pedophile to operate. So we're going to minimize our numbers. We will dwindle the numbers of pedophiles because a lot of them only get the opportunity to act out on these things, these feelings they have, because the opportunity is available. They're an opportunist. They get the opportunity because no parent or caregiver is going, hold on, I've taught my son body safety. Not only that, I've checked you out and I've said, okay, my son's coming over to your place for an afternoon with your kid. Yeah, what are your body safety? Have you had body safety talks with your kids, bro? What are your safety rules? Cool as, man. So these boys they're not going to be doing that. This. You got any older siblings here? What's going on? Why not make that normal? Just like it is normal when you drop a child off, if you're not doing that, to go in with my teenage boys. They say, oh, we've got a party at such and such. It's cool. All right, we'll get you a 4-pack. We'll take you there, and we'll go talk to the parents. Is alcohol allowed? You're going to look after these kids. They're only having 2 drinks each. Is that okay? Yep. These boys, well, I mean, they're 16, they're not, but these are the things you do. Or they're going, I mean, it's what happens, and it's all about being a responsible, realistic parent, so, and checking out that they're safe in these places. That needs to be so normal that the pedophile sticks out like dog's balls. You know what I mean?
But
He has no opportunity to operate. These children have the power because they've been given the education. They've got the hand sign. They've got all the resources at hand. And not only that, they see the ads on television. They know it's not okay. They can even see the 0800 number to ring. They even see that they can ring 111 as soon as they get home. The police aren't even telling you it's safe to talk to them.
Well, and look, the other thing too is it's interesting because what we know is that with those other campaigns out there, action does get taken. Remember you told me once about that jingle and you said it just stuck in your mind. Was it the McDonald's one? About click?
Yeah, make it click. Yep. Yeah,
See that?
and then all the other ones, Drive to Survive, Plan Before You Party.
Yeah.
If you drink and drive, you're a bloody idiot. There's millions of them, we remember. All we need to do is spend some money on a decent marketing team, and we'll all be singing sexual abuse prevention songs in our head. We'll be singing along with the jingle.
Yeah.
They can do it for Pizza Hut. They can do it for McDonald's. You know what I mean? Some marketing. Let's have some marketing. Let's drop. And I mean, the reality of it is if you asked every New Zealander, do you mind if we spend approximately $2 of your tax money you're going to pay this year on marketing to protect children? Nope, don't mind at all. Yeah. Cool. Well, now we got 10 million bucks to spend this year.
Well, an interesting thing is you got as far as government. You had your Marama Davidson.
Yeah.
Now,
and
what's happened with that?
No, so I'm in talks with Marama, and I've talked to her about a mainstream media awareness campaign, and she said that it's a community. It's what we're doing is a great start. And she didn't really say yes or no, or she kind of just said that it comes down, we need more advocates. We need, like carry on doing what you're doing, and push towards that, and I guess from a political
20 kids a day being abused, and that's okay, is it?
Yeah, I know. From a political point of view, I guess unless you've got 300,000 signatures and 400 people standing outside Parliament handcuffed to each other, and 30 different social media influencers live streaming, and 3 News having no choice but to turn up, then something will happen, And that's what I think needs, almost like, I don't project any negativity on my platform. And I don't want people to think watching this, oh, this guy's ready to call a lynch mob, because I'm not. It would be a peaceful protest. But it's like, is that what we've got to do to get, if that's going to get us our 5 minutes on News Hub, so be it.
Well, it reminds me of Paul Holmes, and you might be too young, yes, take the compliment, to remember this, but his daughter... I
know Millie, yeah.
Yeah, Millie, yeah. So she, with the P issue, now he was media himself. It's only because he made such a big noise about it that P started to become a recognised issue in our country.
Yeah.
But even he was shocked at the lack of interest.
Yep. Sad, eh? And he was the man.
Yeah.
He was the man. You know what I mean? Like, he was literally the man, wasn't he?
Yeah,
And yeah, and even he was silenced. You're
yeah,
right. And here we are now. We're in our second generation of the epidemic.
yeah,
So
yeah,
now that's your Ram Raiders. So
yeah.
your Ram Raiders are now using, and their parents are users, and they've grown up around it their whole life. So that's
Well,
that's the result. This youth crime out of control. That's the result.
yeah.
These broken homes, this homelessness. That's the result.
100%. So look, just as we've got about 10 minutes left, Sam, what would you like to calm down? No. What would you like to kind of focus on? What would be helpful for you? Because you've got an audience, we've got people all over the world that will be watching this and applauding you, and they will be following you on social media. So we'll put all Sam's links up. They'll all be there
Awesome.
for people to share and see and go to. Yeah. So, I mean, of course, you're never going to give up. I just wonder, you've got some good support around you. I know you're now doing your peer support work. How are you
Thank
finding
you.
that?
It's great. It's good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty special way to be able to hold space with another man, or I have quite a few um, young clients. One's quite young, so it's an absolute like honor to
Yeah.
be holding
Present.
and sharing space with them. Yeah, it's pretty special. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's very humbling, isn't it? It's such a gift. And
yeah.
that's one life saved. So
Mm,
we must never underestimate the power of that work.
mm, absolutely.
All you are, Sam, is passionate. So don't ever be too hard on yourself. There's just big passion in you, because this is so wrong what's happening, and it's almost given permission to happen, actually.
Yeah,
Um, because
that's how it feels. That's
yeah.
how it feels, eh?
I get people constantly saying to me, do you really still need to talk about this? Till the day I die, I will be talking about this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you guys listened, we could wrap it up next week, and we could actually just go back to, we could get jobs that pay.
Yeah.
We could get normal jobs that pay. If everyone listens, we will shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of that
But
simple.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, do you need to get, yeah, like, yeah, we will until you've listened. Yeah, we do need to keep talking,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, I mean, the thing is as survivors, we understand only too well, and not on your watch and never on mine would we ever be able to stand by and see another beautiful child experiencing anything like what we did. So this is why we are doing this work, and it's so important. And you actually, you're putting one foot in front of the other, and I'm sure those long walks are not easy. I know when I looked at your plan for that month or 6 weeks, I remember thinking, holy hell, those 50-kilometer walks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But we can do some banking for you, Sam. We did it
yeah,
last time. So
yeah, yeah.
using
Yeah, I
our
was gonna. I was trying to get some people involved in a couple of weeks, and just sort of, when we're around midway, and
yeah,
just sort of saying, hey, look, like if you want to go for a 4K walk, well,
yeah,
we can take that off today's tally, so
yes,
that's less time, and if we can get someone to chime in, and especially if we're only walking on 30K day, and we can get 10Ks done from us from someone else, that means we're just walking till lunchtime, and then we can come
fantastic.
back and relax. Yeah.
Fantastic. And because we don't want you getting too badly injured, you guys. And the other thing is, it's a way to join in. So, survivors watching, wherever you are in the world, if you would like to be part of Sam's cause, if you would like to maybe do some banking, which means you do 5-10K, let us know.
Yeah.
Sam's
There you go, son.
here. Then he can bank it, and he might even be able to say, hey, I've had so and so from Virginia in the States doing 10K for us. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be lovely. And
Yeah.
and hey, and take a photo. Give me a beautiful photo where you are. Tag me in, and I can reshare it, and I can show the world.
Yeah.
That there's people all over the world. Like I've got supporters. I've got some followers. I've got a couple of followers in Canada. I've got some in the UK. Quite a few in Australia. So it's
Yay.
like, I've got some from India. So it's like, like let's, yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be real cool.
It's
Show
amazing.
me. I'm showing everyone New Zealand's most beautiful coastlines and bush. Show us yours.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Hey, Sam, any last words from you before I do a wrap up with our one?
um, Look, just if you struggle or you need support, just reach out. Like you and I are here. You're not alone. We know it's fucking hard. Sometimes just writing a big message and sending it to some person that's on the other end of the phone can make such a difference. So please, my inbox is always open. I know Gloria's is always open. Gloria's got many services available and can help. And if you're local in New Zealand, and I can refer you through to services and stuff. If you're a parent, please talk to your children as soon as you can. There's amazing books available. Educate your children and empower them. It's one thing for you as an adult to support us, but if you're not having this conversation with your partner, whether that's your wife or your husband, and then coming together as a team with a plan and putting in these safety nets in place for your children, oh, imagine how much regret you would have, especially if we've made you aware and you haven't taken that next step. And I know it's not easy, but it's not hard either. If we can't have the hard conversations with our kids, how are we going to have the easy ones? We've got to be authentic with our children. We've got to protect them. We've got to give them all the right resources. Just like we teach them to look before they cross the road, let's teach them to keep their bodies safe, please. If we can do nothing else, that's a minimum requirement. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
parents and caregivers, please.
yeah. Hey, look, just as we're closing out, stay there, Sam, please. Amazing audience, here we have Sam I am, and he's doing the hard mahi. He's walking the whole width of our country just to try to raise awareness for the beautiful male survivors out there who perhaps can't find the words. So, wherever you are, he stands with you and he's trying to support. So look, as always, I see you, I stand beside you, and I believe you.